Today, we're tackling something pretty much everyone deals with. Feeling tired.
Yeah, that constant drag.
Exactly. And we're digging into Brian Johnson's YouTube video, the one called Why You're Always Tired.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to pull out some, practical stuff you can use to sleep better.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've ever been there, staring at the ceiling, maybe counting sheep, whatever, this should be helpful.
We're aiming to pinpoint those key habits that really mess with your sleep, I think.
Huh?
So yeah, our mission today is basically to unpack 6 habits he identified.
6 things that can sabotage sleep.
Right. And see what we can learn, what insights you can actually use.
Okay, let's jump in. Habit number 1, eating food too late.
Ah, the classic.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but Johnson really emphasizes the timing. It's like sending signals to your body.
And if you eat too close to bed, your body's busy digesting, right?
Yeah.
When it should be winding down.
Exactly. It's supposed to be prepping for rest, not processing dinner.
Yeah, and biologically, think about your circadian rhythm. It controls more than just sleep and wakefulness.
Like metabolism, too.
Totally. Metabolism, hormones. Eating late can, it throws a wrench into that. You might get blood sugar spikes and drops.
Which isn't great for sleep hormones like melatonin.
Precisely. It disrupts that smooth hormonal shift you need to drift off and stay asleep.
Now, this is where Johnson gets really Johnson-like. He didn't just guess.
No, definitely not. He experimented a lot.
Yeah, he tested his last meal time, pushed it from just 1 hour before his bedtime, which is 8:30 p.m., by the way.
Wow, 8:30 p.m. bedtime.
Right. All the way back to, wait for it, 11 a.m.
11 in the morning as his last meal.
Yeah. And he tracked different food types, too, monitoring the effects.
Okay, so what was the biggest finding from all that self-testing, besides the super early dinner?
Well, the 11 a.m. thing is wild, obviously, but I think the link he found with resting heart rate is really key.
Tell me about that.
He noticed when he ate later, his resting heart rate was higher during sleep, like 55 to 57 beats per minute.
Okay.
And that consistently matched up with worse sleep quality, like a 30% reduction, he said.
Wow, that's significant.
But when his resting heart rate was lower, around 46 to 50 BPM, that was his sweet spot. Best sleep.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
A lower resting heart rate usually means your body's more relaxed, more in that parasympathetic state.
The rest and digest mode.
Exactly. So if digestion is long finished before bed, your body can actually get into that calmer state, lower the heart rate, and, sleep better.
So the big takeaway for you listening, maybe 11 a.m. dinner isn't practical. I mean, probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
But the principle is powerful. Try experimenting. Finish eating maybe 2, 3, even 4 hours before you hit the sack.
Give it a go. Your body might take a little while to adjust. You might feel hungry initially.
Right, there might be an adjustment period.
But it could genuinely improve your sleep quality. It's about giving your system that break before it needs to repair and recover overnight.
Okay, so that leads nicely into habit number 2. Not having a wind-down routine.
Ah, yes. The transition. Or lack thereof.
So easy to just, power through the day, slam the laptop shut, and expect to instantly fall asleep.
Which rarely works. Johnson really stresses needing a deliberate shift. A buffer zone.
He actually has a name for it, right? Nighttime Brian.
Yeah. He says around 7:30 p.m., nighttime Brian takes over. It's like a mental switch.
Putting work stuff aside.
If a work thought pops up, he acknowledges it, but tells himself, nope, that's for morning Brian.
It's like training your brain to slow down.
It is. And it's not just mental. It's also about avoiding stuff that gets you, physically amped up right before bed.
Right, like arguments or really intense exercise.
Or even super stimulating TV shows or news. Anything that keeps you in that fight or flight mode.
The opposite of sleep mode.
Exactly. Instead, you want things that activate the parasympathetic system, the calming stuff.
Like reading. He's big on physical books, isn't he?
Yeah, specifically physical books, less screen light, but also things like journaling, meditating, maybe a warm bath.
A gentle walk, even.
A gentle walk, yeah.
Yeah.
Things that signal calm down.
And the key is giving it enough time.
Yes. Consistency and time. He recommends at least 60 minutes before bed, a full hour dedicated to winding down.
Think of it like a runway for sleep.
Good analogy. Preparing for takeoff into dreamland.
All right, habit 3. Stimulants too late in the day. Caffeine's the obvious one here.
The afternoon pick-me-up that bites you back later?
Totally. So let's say you grab a coffee at 4 p.m. and you want to be asleep by 10 p.m.
Okay.
Caffeine's half-life is roughly 6 hours, right?
Roughly, yeah. It varies a bit person to person, but 6 hours is a good rule of thumb.
So at 10 p.m., you've still got the equivalent of half that coffee buzzing around your system.
Makes it harder to fall asleep or might lead to lighter, more broken sleep, even if you don't realize it.
And Johnson himself is quite sensitive to it.
Very. He actually cut out caffeine completely. Alcohol, too.
Really? Why both?
He said it was mainly for mood stability, but better sleep was likely a big side effect. Some people just metabolize caffeine much slower or are more sensitive.
So even if you feel like that 3 p.m. espresso doesn't affect you?
It might be worth reconsidering. Maybe it is impacting your sleep quality subtly.
The general advice then is pretty clear. If you drink caffeine, try to have it earlier in the day.
Definitely. And again, Johnson would probably say, experiment on yourself. Find your cutoff time. Maybe it's noon, maybe 2 p.m. See what works.
Good point. Okay, habit 4. Not managing evening light properly.
This one's interesting because light is good in the morning, right?
Exactly. Morning sunlight is great, helps set your body clock, boosts mood.
But evening light needs a different approach. It tells your brain whether it's time to be awake or wind down.
So for the couple of hours before bed, say 2 hours, Johnson suggests dimming the lights.
Lower the brightness. Yeah.
And also thinking about the color of the light. Warmer tones.
Right, like oranges and reds, similar to a sunset. He mentions Kelvin temperatures, 2,700 to 3,500 Kelvin.
Which is much warmer than, say, bright white or bluish daylight. That bluer light is stimulating.
Very stimulating, which is why screens are such a problem in the evening. They blast out blue light.
Yeah, messing with melatonin production.
He mentions tools you can use, like software. F.Lux is one.
Oh yeah, that shifts your screen color automatically.
Right. Or using blue light blocking glasses in the evening.
And Johnson practices this pretty strictly.
Seems so. He mentioned a household rule. Absolutely no screens for 1 full hour before bed.
Wow. So what does he do?
Reads a physical book, goes for that evening walk, actively avoids that stimulating light during that critical pre-sleep window.
Okay, that makes sense. Moving on to habit 5. The bedroom being too hot. Or too cold, I guess.
Temperature. Yeah, this is a big one for sleep quality.
Our bodies need to cool down slightly to fall asleep and stay asleep, right?
Exactly. Your core body temperature naturally dips during the night. If your room is too warm, it makes it harder for your body to do that.
Leading to tossing and turning.
Pretty much. Restless nights.
So some basic fixes, maybe just cracking a window.
Yeah, fresh air helps. Using blackout blinds is good too. Stops the room heating up like an oven during the day, especially in summer.
But Johnson uses something more high-tech, doesn't he?
He does. He talks about temperature-controlled mattresses. Specifically, he uses 8 sleep.
And he finds it makes a big difference.
He seems to, yeah. He describes these really specific temperature phases it creates for him.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
He sets it to 73 degrees Fahrenheit when he gets in bed. Then it cools down to 69 during his deep sleep phase.
Okay. Cooler for deep sleep.
Then it warms up slightly to maybe 71 or 72 during REM sleep.
Interesting. Why warmer for REM?
Well, our body temperature naturally fluctuates through the sleep cycles. This aims to mirror that natural rhythm, just precisely controlled. Then it goes back to 73 when it's time to wake up.
Wow. That's incredibly specific.
And apparently the mattress has an autopilot feature that just handles these temperature changes automatically.
That's pretty sophisticated sleep tech.
It is. Although he did joke that it makes sleeping in normal hotel beds a bit challenging once you get used to it.
Huh. I can imagine. The downside of optimization.
Maybe so.
Okay, last one. Habit number 6. Regulating noise.
The bumps in the night. Or the neighbor's TV. Or traffic.
Or barking dogs. Johnson had an issue with that, didn't he?
He did. He shared a story about his neighbor's dogs barking late at night, right when he was trying to sleep.
What did he do? Bang on the wall?
Haha, no. He actually went over and had a polite conversation. He explained his early bedtime, how the barking was affecting him.
And how did that go?
Surprisingly well, apparently. The neighbor was understanding, and they worked it out.
So sometimes just communicating directly helps, even if it feels awkward.
Absolutely. He suggests trying that respectful conversation first. Maybe even bring cookies, a little goodwill.
Good tip. But what if that doesn't work or isn't possible, like city noise?
Then he recommends noise machines. White noise, pink noise, brown noise.
What's the difference?
Different frequencies emphasized, basically. But the idea is the same. Create a consistent masking sound.
So it drowns out the sudden disruptive noises.
Exactly. It helps reduce those sleep interruptions, the ones you might not even fully wake up from but still fragment your sleep.
Correct.
Creates a steadier sound environment.
Okay, so that's the 6 habits. Late eating, no wind down, late stimulants, evening light, wrong temperature, and noise.
And putting it all together, Johnson's main point seems to be about just prioritizing sleep, really valuing it.
Yeah, not seeing it as wasted time or something to skimp on.
Right. He pushes back against that hustle culture idea that less sleep equals more productivity. He argues getting proper rest is fundamental for, well, everything.
It's a positive act, not a lazy one.
Precisely.
So we've covered those 6 key areas Brian Johnson highlights as sleep disruptors.
Yeah. The late meals, skipping the wind down, caffeine timing, evening light, room temperature, and noise control.
And hopefully this deep dive has given you a clearer picture of these factors based on his experiences and experiments.
The next step, really, is for you listening to think about your own habits.
Which of these rings true for you?
Yeah. Where could you maybe make a small change? Johnson is huge on self-experimentation, remember. Find what works for you.
And that brings us to a final thought to leave you with. What if you consistently tackled just 1 or 2 of these?
The compounding effect.
Exactly. Think about how making those small, deliberate shifts, maybe pushing dinner earlier or putting screens away an hour before bed, could potentially add up.
Could lead to a really significant positive change in how you feel every day, your energy, your mood.
Your overall well-being. It's definitely something worth exploring for yourself. Better sleep, maybe a better you,